Hi Virgo, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your December 2025 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who have liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's the Celtic Cross spread as always, and also pulled the Four Agreements and Wisdom of the Oracle card for you guys. We're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology guys we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus should be as far as that goes. Alright, we have Saturn. So Saturn is in Pisces, which is your seventh house of partnerships, relationships, and contracts. It's still retrograde right now, but it's actually going to start its direct cycle on the 27th of November. So it will be direct through December, but it's going to be picking up momentum slowly coming out of its post-shadow period. So yeah, you could be feeling some shifts in that area of life. We have Sagittarius, so plenty going on with Sagittarius. At the time of recording this, we haven't gotten into Sagittarius season just yet, but of course the sun will be there for most of December. We're going to have a new moon in Sagittarius on the 19th of December. We'll have Venus there for the first few weeks of December, and Mars will be in there until the 15th of December. So plenty of energy going through Sagittarius, and that is your fourth house of home roots family. And 2. So second house energy for you guys is Libra. Astrologically speaking, pretty quiet in that area of the zodiac right now. But yeah, second house in general points to possession, self-worth, and finances. So we'll keep all that in mind as we go through the main spread. In the main situation position, we have the Emperor, Aries energy. And then challenging that, we have the Seven of Cups, Scorpio energy. So, at the time of recording this, we do have Mercury retrograde, and it's in Scorpio, so could just be pointing to that for some of you. But primarily what I'm getting with this, I feel like this is saying that, well, a couple of different ways this could be playing out. One, it's just saying that you're feeling really confident and sure of yourselves at this time. But the challenge is, you might not be seeing the situation quite as clearly as you think. So this could be maybe jumping the gun, thinking that, okay, I totally get what there is to see about the situation. I'm good to go. I'm solid on it. But there could be some details you're missing. Or this could just be saying that, yeah, you really are in this position and you are really sure of yourselves. And you might think that you're communicating to others very clearly, but they might not be getting what you're saying. So it could just be a disconnect with communication as far as that goes. Especially, excuse me, speaking of communication issues, but especially given that this retrograde is in your third house, which is your communication house. In the foundation position, we have the King of Pentacles. So this is Taurus energy here. So yeah, this is a ninth house energy for you guys as well. So this does tell me that for a lot of you, you do know your stuff. So I feel like if it is that scenario we were talking about, where you are very sure of yourselves, just more of, I feel like your disconnect is you think you've communicated what you know to others more clearly than you actually did. So, and maybe some of that's on them too for not telling you, like, hey, hold on, could you repeat that? I'm not sure I get what you were saying, right? But yeah, it looks like that's where the primary disconnect could be for some of you. In the past position, we have the Tower. So yeah, so for some of you, maybe this is just something that's coming up from the past that maybe did cause an ending in the past, because you might have, again, like I said, I feel like it was all around some kind of miscommunication. So for example, maybe this was a previous retrograde when it originally happened. Now that we're in this current retrograde, maybe it's coming back up to the surface to reevaluate. But yeah, looks like there could have been an ending in the past, and if that's the case, it seems to have been primarily due to miscommunication. Present position, we have the Knight of Wands, so Sagittarius energy here. So yeah, so this says to me that for the most part, you're feeling sure of yourselves, you're feeling confident, you feel like you're right where you need to be at this time. In the near future position, we have the Four of Cups. So Cancerian energy here. So yeah, so it looks like there's some level of disappointment there. Now, again, I feel like at the root of that it could just be that there's some kind of cross wires here. Or like I said, it seems like the most likely scenario that I'm getting from this is that, like I said, you seem to really know your stuff around something, and you might have communicated what you wanted to someone else, and you know, again, coming from the place of knowing your stuff, knowing what you want, knowing what you needed, feeling like you communicated that clearly, but it just might not have landed with the other party the way you thought it did. So now, as a result of that, you're not getting what you expected out of the situation, but it seems to be because it was primarily due to miscommunication. All right. In the position of your influence in the situation, we have the world. So yeah, so again, like I said, this seems like another indicator that you're not in the wrong necessarily. I feel like you do know the situation in and out, but again, when it's leaving your brain and your mouth and being sent to another person, it seems like that's where the disconnect is coming into play, right? And I'm not saying that from a blame position that, oh, it's their fault for not getting it, or it's your fault for not communicating it clearly, but it just seems like that's the problem. There's that gap there. All right. In the environment position, we have the death card. So Scorpio energy here. So yeah, so like I said, whatever this is could have caused an ending, right? And maybe that's how much you were ultimately going for. So again, maybe for some of you this is something that already took place a while back with the tower in the past, but regardless, I feel like this is saying that maybe now you're seeing that, okay, all the stuff that unfolded here was all due to a misunderstanding. And for some of you, maybe that's what the world card means for you, right? Is like just getting a grasp on what the situation was about in the past and being able to get peace with it finally. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Five of Cups. So, not an energy you would think someone would hope for on the surface, but for some of you, if that is the case, it could just be saying more so for you to just finally put the situation behind you, right? Where, maybe it's just haunting you in a certain way for whatever reason. Because again, like I said, it seems like there was such confidence on your end, like, oh, no, I totally know what's going on here. I'm under control, right? But then things go haywire past that point. You're like, what happened, right? So I feel like this is saying that, you just want to be able to put it behind you ultimately. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the Six of Wands, so Leo energy here. So yeah, so this looks like ultimately you will be celebrated in some way, receive some recognition. So yeah, maybe it's as simple as, like I said, maybe you were totally on the right track, you communicated something, and again with the retrograde, right, maybe wires got crossed, but now maybe as that energy is clearing out as we move through December, the message is more well received, people get what you're saying, then you're like, all right, good to know I wasn't losing my mind here. Now people are getting where I'm coming from. That's what I see with that. And bottom of the deck, we have the Five of Swords. So yeah, I do have to say, to see this energy here, it could just be saying that some people might have been going out of their way to misunderstand you. You ever have those situations where you're clearly communicating something clear as day, but someone's like going out of their way to make sure that they misunderstand you just to create conflict when there's no need for it necessarily. All right, moving on to the Four Agreements deck, we have always do your best. There we go. And it says surrender and let go of the past. So yeah, so like I said, for some of you, maybe this is about making peace about a situation from the past. All right, it says whatever life takes away from you, let it go. When you surrender and let go of the past, you allow yourself to be fully alive in a moment. Letting go of the past means that you can enjoy the dream that is happening right now. So, yeah, that's an interesting message there. And again, like I said, this could be something that happened a while back, given that we're in a retrograde and that's in your communication house. Maybe this is just something from the past you're fixated on to an extent, but through doing so, I feel like you might finally have that breakthrough where you understand what might have gone wrong in the situation and learning from that in the long run. From the Wisdom Oracle, we have Loyal Heart. There's the artwork. The number is 35. We'll see what this has to say. All right. Essential meanings says fidelity, loyalty, devotion. The oracle's message: evidence of loyalty will appear in your life. Others will prove they are faithful to you, and you in turn will commit fully to them. There is a sure and abiding certainty in your heart. Know that Spirit is always loyal to you. No matter the outer circumstances in your life, trust and have faith, for you are eternally loved, always divinely protected, and divinely directed. So, definitely a positive message there as well, especially if you did start to maybe even second guess yourselves, right, at a certain point, because, again, like I said, to be so sure of yourselves and see the outward environment reflect something completely different might have thrown me for a loop for a bit. The relationship message says your partnerships, friendships, and romantic relationships all have many qualities in common right now. Honest devotion, faithfulness, and a loyal heart are being shown to you. Are you as loyal in return? Now is the time for heartfelt commitments and trusting in divine protection. So, yeah, for those of you who are looking for relationship guidance, hopefully that message resonated. And the prosperity message says your long term loyalty to your goals is becoming evident in a world of conditions where your aspirations for success assume form in reality. Success is finally taking shape. If you are loyal to your dreams, faithful to your plans while remaining flexible, and devoted to serving others, you will be shown proof of your true prosperity. This is a time for a joyful celebration of spirit, your manifesting partner. So, definitely a good message there as well. We have currently Jupiter retrograde in your 11th house, which could point to hopes and wishes. So, maybe some things that, might have seemed to go off the rails in the past with the retrograde, those things can actually course correct. That's when retrogrades could actually be a positive. Things that have already gone off the rails. But hope that resonates with you guys. Hope we have a good holiday season. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.